I guess my question would be, what do you guys feel like is your biggest barrier to pleasure in your own life?
You go ho.
Oh, you go first.
I said you go ho. I'm like, I meant to say you go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'll
woman.
be.
I mean, we were sent toys, Lilo,
Yeah.
sex toys,
Yeah.
and we had the best time separately we played. And I will say, like, I learned even some things. Did you learn some things, like, from the toy?
Yes.
Okay.
Boo to that. Boo to that.
I mean, this is like...
Hi there. This is Kelly Mizgorski,
And Ryan Frankowski.
and you're listening to
Mocktails Are Messy. Today,
we are here with Lauren, the magnetic woman. The magnetic woman. I feel like I said that weird.
Lauren, the magnetic woman. And tell us a little bit about Lauren. Do you like to be called the magnetic woman? Do you like to use your last name?
I typically just go by Lauren, but also the magnetic woman works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. You are very magnetic today. It's a
Every
radiation. Every day.
Yeah.
Even at the event that we met you
Yes.
at.
I feel like we need to ease into this because I have some because I have intense questions.
That's fine.
Yeah, and it's
let's
like-
go, baby.
Oh my God. Cheers to you. Thank you, Lauren. And I'm sorry
Cheers.
about the
Yeah,
solo
cheers,
cup, but
cheers,
that
cheers.
red dress just really deserved
I guess we should give a little backstory. Okay, so
Oh,
what is
yeah.
it that I'll have you explain it? What is it that you do?
Yeah. So I say that I help women reclaim their feminine power through pleasure. So I have an online coaching and empowerment company where I have courses and memberships, and I, work with women across the globe. And I've been running the Magnetic Woman for since 2017, I think, is when it was born. So it's been a while.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And what did you do before that?
Great question. So actually before, what I went to college for and did after I graduated college was I was actually a sign language interpreter.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So that was my career, my late teens, early 20s. And then when I was, in my mid 20s, my quarter life crisis also coincided with my father passing away. And I was like, I have no idea how to handle this kind of loss. And I don't think what I'm doing currently as a career is what I want to do. I was just lost across the board. And I found a personal development program in New York City run by Regina Thomashauer, which is
I've heard of the
yeah, I've
name.
heard that name.
yes.
too.
So
Yeah.
she wrote the book Pussy, a Reclamation. I'm assuming I'm allowed to say whatever
yes.
on
Oh,
this.
Yes.
we want you to bring
Okay,
that up.
So, however, she had not written that book at that time. She had other books. And so I was 25. Now, I was raised Catholic. I went through 10 years of Catholic school. Okay.
Did you
my
go to Oakland
gosh.
Catholic?
For 2 years, and then I transferred.
We were
out.
raised Catholic too, but didn't
Yes.
you go to the Catholic school?
Oh,
No.
10 years of Catholic schooling over
Okay.
here. So,
Catholic, Oakland Catholic, and
yes. Yeah, and Catholic grade school.
then okay.
And so,
That was all girls, right?
yes, Oakland
Oh my gosh.
is all
Okay.
girls. Yeah. And so, anyways, when I was 25, I find myself, I decide I want to do Regina's program because she talked about enjoying life, living a pleasurable life, and I felt so lost. And, within 20 minutes of the first day of the event, she's on stage and she's like, a woman's power is her connection to her pussy. And I was like,
Oh,
yeah, basically, I was like, get me out of here. What the hell did I just sign up for? And yet,
and you were pretty prude then.
yeah, I would say naive, less prudish, more naive, just kind of what are you what? But there was something inside of me that was just I'm really intrigued, and this seemed why haven't I ever heard these things before? And I was looking around, seeing all these women who were just radiant and glowing and happy, and I'm like, okay, there's something here, despite the fact that this
you're
is
doing that.
terrifying.
You're doing the radiant and the glow.
you.
I know. It's not just the
Wow.
red, guys. It's something about her energy.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, what else am I going to do? I'm so lost, and I don't know what to do in my life.
And you didn't like your job.
And I didn't like my job. So
Yeah.
I started taking a lot of personal development, and I was still a sign language interpreter at the time in DC. And I was like, I don't want to do this.
What got you into ASL?
I actually volunteered at the School for the Deaf in Wilkinsburg when I was in high school, and it was fascinating to me.
Did you know Mrs. Lawhead?
Maybe. I don't know.
I think she was there.
Probably.
Okay, it's all good.
So is this just something you picked up kind of
I started volunteering there, and then they had like evening classes, so I took the classes, and I just like was really fascinated by it and decided that's what I wanted to do for school. And it was a great career.
That's pretty cool.
Got to a point, like, I think when you experience a loss, like the loss of your parent, it for me, it was this moment too of like, I don't want to waste any time in my life. And if I'm already feeling this way at 25, 26, like, I don't think I want to do this. Like, why am I going to force myself to stay in a career that didn't feel like it fit anymore, right? And I think for me, especially as I learned more about pleasure and sensuality, I started feeling more confident, more sure of myself, like being like, wait, I have like a voice and an opinion, and it's important. And as a sign language interpreter, which again was a great career, but you are just the communication conduit. Like, it was said that it's effective if it is like you weren't even there. And I'm like, okay, but I have opinions that I want to be talking about. And so I'm like, if I'm already feeling this way at 25, 26, like, no, thank you. And because I was doing a lot of personal development at the time, I had a lot of friends who had started online coaching companies. And I was like, this seems really interesting. I love to travel. I love the idea of creating something that is mine and that like I can share my opinions and my beliefs. And then I started an online coaching company, and it took a few years for me to like really like narrow into the magnetic woman and pleasure and sensuality and all of that. And here we are.
Well, now that we're all warmed up, I feel like we've got some like good questions for you, some juicy questions.
Yes.
And now I feel like we can get into it.
Sure, let's go.
I love it.
What has been the most surprising discovery you've made about pleasure?
Well,
I like the way she said that.
Right. I'm trying to fit in.
I think the most surprising discovery is how taboo it still is, especially for women. If you ask them, like, what brings you pleasure, not even sexual pleasure, just like pleasure in general, pleasure in your life, a lot of women can't answer it. And there's a fear of like, if I'm starting to enjoy life, if I'm starting to experience pleasure, then something bad's going to happen to me. Like, I'll be punished if I have too much pleasure in my life.
Why is that so real?
That would be religious conditioning, patriarchy, and patriarchy.
That's
why.
so it.
Yeah.
That is so it. Like, and I mean, this is maybe not related, but I remember I missed like a family wedding event, and like my cousin was like, "You have the Catholic guilt."
Yeah.
Like, I was like, well,
oh,
I
yeah.
have to be
it's
there.
So related.
Like, I have to come up with a reason I couldn't go. And
yeah,
it's like,
and it has to be really dire. Like, I'm suffering so bad, so you can't be mad at me.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the conditioning.
Yeah, it's religious conditioning and patriarchal conditioning, which is all about oppressing women. Oh, which one? The patriarchy?
Yes.
So patriarchy is the created system of power. So it's not like an inherent natural way of being. It is a system of power that was created a couple thousand years ago, which prioritizes men and the masculine over women and the feminine. So it's like men, masculine are the gold standard, women, feminine are less than.
It's so weird how we are like still living in this weird age that you see the growth. And I can only speak from a male's perspective, but I grew up with a mom who was the career breadwinner, like pushing it. But then there was still this like disconnect of her actually like achieving the highest level in her company.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know,
men are still paid more than women that are in the same position. Like I've been through that before.
Yep.
And I feel like only recently I feel like I can have a voice. Like growing up, I felt like I couldn't. Nobody cares about my opinion. I'm just a stupid woman. Like I've really felt that way before.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's deeply ingrained and conditioned in us. I read once, and I can't remember where it was from, but like if you ask little girls like under 6, 7 what they want on a pizza, they'll tell you. And then it was like 8 to 12, if you ask them, they'll tell you, but they might also be like, well, you know, what do you want? And like after 12, they're like, I don't know, doesn't matter.
That's fucked up.
And it's a pizza, you know?
That's so interesting. Yeah.
Like, but we're conditioned as from little girls to really suppress our voice, our expression, our desires, and our pleasure.
Yeah, because we as men will be like, first thing, like, this is what I like. This, you know, it's
Yes.
like, this is what I need, blah, blah, blah. Like,
Yep.
it's like, it's so like direct and like, you know, me recently, like, you know, experimenting, like I'm bisexual and I like definitely really love both of the sexes.
Yeah.
But I do feel like I cannot figure it out. It's a lot of a hunting game, a treasure hunt, like to find out,
What
you know,
women like.
what women like. And I really wanted to be direct and be like, tell me what you like. But that's not sexy.
Well, yes and no, but honestly, unfortunately, most women don't know what they like.
That's right. That's what you're trying to explain.
Or they're too afraid to truly say what they want or what they like. So it's less that like women are trying to play this big elaborate game and more like they don't have the practice of just like stating what they want and standing in that. And not being worried that it's going to be shut down or made fun of or, you know, weaponized against them.
I mean, we were sent toys, Lilo, sex toys.
Yeah.
And we had the best time separately we played. She's married to my best friend.
Amazing.
And I will say, like, I learned even some things. Did you learn some things, like, from the toy?
Yes.
Okay.
Without going into detail, yes.
Yeah, great.
I mean, well, is that something that you could start off like if you're a young girl that is like maybe of age 18 or up, you know, obviously, like we want to, but I guess I'm trying to ask the right question, like how to explore.
Yeah, I think well, and I think it goes back to there's a lot of shame and conditioning for young girls, young women around exploring pleasure in general in their life, but especially sexual pleasure.
Especially from the Catholic Church.
Yes. I mean, religious conditioning, I think everybody actually has religious conditioning. Doesn't matter if you grew up Catholic or Christian or nothing, because the
or
fact
Muslim or
right.
Jewish.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is Abrahamic religions have controlled the majority of society and or colonized the countries, and it like morphed into how the laws and societal norms. So everybody has religious conditioning. But what were you going to say?
Oh, there was this like workshop I did when I was a kid, and they explained women as like a Band-Aid. Yep. And the more like you rip the Band-Aid off, the less it sticks. Yes. And they were referring to like sex and stuff like that.
Having multiple sexual partners. Yeah.
Yes. And
I got the same talk in
it's
Catholic
like
school.
this dirty, nasty feeling that you get from a very young age, and you're like ashamed.
Yep. A lot of shame.
Yeah. So much shame, and it's not, I don't think that's healthy.
It's not. And it then plays out in adult women's lives in their not knowing what they like sexually, not being able to ask for it, not feeling comfortable asking for it, being really shut down in their body. And then you layer on the majority of women have experienced some kind of physical or sexual trauma, right? And so most women are
so much
walking around really shut down in their body, really frozen, really numb. And you can't, you can't experience pleasure if your baseline is being numb.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, how could you? Yeah. You have to be relaxed.
Yes.
Okay. This is great, guys. Okay. So what has been the most empowering moment for you as the founder of the Magnetic Woman community and helping women embrace their sexuality?
I think the most empowering moments for me are when I see women like when it's like that light switch goes on and they become so radiant and they just feel like they can take on the world and they're more confident, more alive, and it could be things from like they ask for a raise at work that they've been wanting and, worthy of for a long time, but they finally have the confidence to do it, or they start dating, or, honestly, even sometimes when women are like, I'm finally getting a divorce. Like, I finally am ending this toxic relationship. So whenever that light goes on for them and they become just that radiant, effervescent version of themselves that every woman has inside of her. I think when I say that my company is the magnetic woman and this is the work that I do, I think oftentimes a lot of women are like, oh, that's good for you and it's easy for you because you're pretty or you wear makeup or whatever. And it's like, no, I believe every single woman is a magnetic woman inside of themselves. And it just might be kind of covered by some other stuff that we just got to clear out.
When I met
turn
you,
the lights on.
You were so authentic, and
Thank you.
You actually felt magnetic.
Thank you.
I felt like
true.
drawn to you. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I want to be around her.
Yeah.
She knows like what's up.
And like you said, it's not like you're beautiful. You
Yeah,
know
thank
how to
you.
dress. You
Yeah.
have like the look, but it's also
And red is your color.
personality.
Yeah,
thank
you.
There is that.
Yeah.
And I think having that personality is not necessarily what you're given at birth. It's about acquiring that comfortable.
Definitely.
You know?
And the confidence in just who you are in general.
Yes, because we're not built the same way.
No. And that would be so boring.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So boring.
I mean, I know myself, like, I love this topic because I love the women in my life. I probably have a lot more female friends than I do male friends because of that. I don't know. I just feel like I don't know if it's just
You're a
not
girl's
connecting.
girl.
I was a
You're a girl's girl.
or like
Yeah.
not connecting with like the straight, like entitled
Yes.
white male.
Yeah.
Like, and I know that I could have played that role in society.
Definitely.
I probably was a fuckboy
You
in high
faked it
school.
before.
You know, I faked it.
Yeah.
And it was like, I think I kind of got through that and karma hit me in the ass. Karma kicked me in the ass hard.
Yep.
And I think I learned like just even being comfortable in my own skin is what you're describing.
Huge. Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
being open and like
Yes.
talking about like sex and like what even pleases like me and my partner. And I
Yes.
think it's like so important to talk about it. But you're right. You emphasize the magnetic woman because of this closedness.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I love my girls that are so open. Like she and me talk about sex all the time.
Amazing. Yeah.
And we like are inspired to like, you know, make it more comfortable. We're
Definitely.
in 2025.
Seriously.
You know, like come on
Yeah.
guys, we're not like buttoned up in 2008.
Right.
Well, that's a good point. Like that leads us into the next question. Like, how do you think society's views on pleasure has evolved, and where do you see it heading?
Well, right now is a very interesting time
Yes.
To say the least.
because there is a lot of push to suppress women and their sexuality even more. And so while, I think society's view on pleasure has evolved in a lot of ways, now there is this like pushback against it.
Yes. Doesn't feel like it's come that far still.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it can feel really daunting as a woman, especially if you're just kind of like coming into this and you're like, wait, I want to start exploring my pleasure, my sensuality, my sexuality. And now feels like this like really restrictive time to do it. But I say that is like the most important form of resistance for women is to choose pleasure, right? To like not give in to this piling on of guilt and shame around female sexuality and female pleasure. So, you know, I feel like as long as we're in kind of a patriarchal society that continues to devalue women, we're never going to like fully evolve into a place where a woman's pleasure and sexuality is fully celebrated like across the board and not demonized.
Yeah, demonized is the word.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't you think?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like so bizarre. Like, I think about this experience. I'm at a closing with my aunt and uncle, and I swear this will be brief. He talks about his hookups in the past, and he's like allowed to in his head. But as soon as she brings up, and she's very alpha.
Yeah.
She's a nurse manager. She don't give a shit. She's like, yeah, I was having sex on that pool table whenever I was in my 20s with that doctor.
Yeah.
That I was working with.
And it's like, oh,
he
what
was
a
like,
slut, right?
He's like,
no, I don't want to hear that. La, la, la.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Uncle, you just talked about how many girls that you were hooking up with. What makes it wrong that Auntie can't share an experience? Oh, are you not confident because he was a doctor?
Yeah.
Are you not confident because you can't picture it, but you can talk about all the girls you hooked up with?
Yeah. Yes.
It's such a fucking hypocrite. What's the word?
Hypocritical. Yes.
Is that a hypocrite?
Yes. I say we adopt that word from now on.
Can we-
But
let's
it's
do
also
it.
hypocritical.
Yes, thank you. I could have.
But I prefer hypocrite. Hypocrite.
Yeah, that's it now.
Oh my God, but you get it.
Yes.
And
it
I
is
mean,
very
I'm sure you've
hypocritical.
dated guys like that,
Yes.
or maybe
Yeah.
been around them.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think most men hold. It's called the Madonna whore paradigm. Like, you can either be the wife, good, pure, virginal, or if you explore your pleasure and desires, you're a slut. Like, it's not either. It's not both. You can't be a woman who is sexual
I feel that.
and be seen as like morally good.
Yes.
And, like, good. Whatever that means.
Yeah, what the fuck is up with that?
Yes, it's just other ways to control and shame us.
We can't cheers to that shit. We
No,
gotta
we're
come
not
up with a
cheersing
better
to that.
thing.
No. Boo!
Yeah.
to that. Boo to that.
I mean, this was like somebody that was before her time. Nobody would take a photo like this for my 21st birthday.
I
my
love
gosh.
it.
And she was like, sign me up, bitch.
I love it
Yeah.
so much.
And
It's
all
gorgeous.
the parents were like, I can't believe you let them do this.
Yeah,
like,
that was like
what's wrong with you?
15 years ago.
And
It's a gorgeous photo.
And we love being so provocative and sexual and talk
Yeah.
about pleasure because it's like, it's not just to be filthy and get a shock value. It's just because like that's who we are, always
Yes.
been.
Yes.
And probably humans are.
Yes.
We all are sexual.
We are all, and that's the thing is like the more people try and repress that and shame that, that's how it comes out in really fucked up sideways ways, right? That's why there's a lot of violence against women and a lot of, it's like it has to be, it is going to be expressed in some way. So either you can express it in a safe and healthy environment, or it's going to come out in really fucked up ways.
That's scary. But yeah, that is nail on the head, right? Okay, so is there a practice or ritual that you recommend for women looking to connect more deeply with pleasure?
Yeah, so I would say, if you're just really starting, you want to really begin with something as simple as like closing your eyes and tuning in and just starting to notice like what are you feeling in like emotionally and what sensations are you experiencing. So like if you close your eyes and it's like, oh, my throat feels tight or I feel tired, just starting to have that body awareness is really key. And then expanding into self-pleasuring. And that, again, that could be sexual and it could be just what brings pleasure to my body. So I have my clients even start with something as simple as 5 minutes, put some music on, and just notice what kind of touch do you like? Is it really light? Like, does that bring pleasure to your body? Does that kind of, like a little aliveness? Is it more using your nails?
Oh, the nails, yes.
Is it a feather? Right? And so, and just that intentional, focused time lowers your cortisol, like lowers the stress hormone in your body. It regulates your nervous system.
I feel so relaxed just hearing you say
Yeah,
that.
it takes you out of fight or flight. And so something as little as 5 minutes a day of focused bringing pleasure to your physical body where you're tuned in and you're like, does that feel better? Does that feel worse? Am I enjoying that? Am I not enjoying that? Will change your life. For men as well. I work primarily and only with women, but for anybody.
Yeah.
I think especially now in 2025, we're on our phones all of the time. Mm-hmm. So we feel so connected to like the world, but we're really very disconnected from each other and from our own physical bodies. So yeah, 5 minutes a day of like what brings me pleasure.
I love it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Honest to God.
Can you share a time when embracing your own sensuality transformed an aspect of your life or relationship?
I mean, I think sensuality transforms every aspect of your life and every aspects of your relationships. Because again, you end up feeling so much more comfortable and confident in your own skin. So how could that not change everything in your life, right? So yeah, I guess my answer would be it changes everything. There's not just one time or one thing.
What role does self-love play in your approach to pleasure, and how can a woman cultivate that more in their lives?
I mean, self-love is really the foundation, right? But not in the like Instagram version of self-love. To me, self-love is radical acceptance and unconditional compassion for yourself. So all of those parts of us that are messy or that we feel are dirty or toxic or like shame-inducing, the more you can embrace them and be like, yeah, that like, okay, I love this. I love this part of me. The easier it is to really have a sense of like true self-love. Not the like Instagram, I have to look perfect and this be perfect and everything be lined up and then I have self-love, or like, it's the $300 mock spa in your bathroom. Like that's me having self-love. Self-love is meeting yourself, all aspects of yourself, with love and compassion.
Yeah.
And being like, I'm doing the best I can with what I have and where I am right now. And that's okay.
Yeah, I used to put all this pressure on myself. And then I was just like, wait, I think she reminded me, it's like, you have had successes and you should embrace them and you should love yourself. Not about like you changing gears. Yeah. It's about you celebrating the wins that lead you to this point.
Definitely. And I don't believe that we can really create effective, lasting, healthy change in our life if we're trying to shame ourselves into the change, right? Like we have to come from a place of deep acceptance of who we are, where we've been, where we're at, and be like, I want to shift this because that's what I want. That's what I desire, because I'm worthy of a healthier relationship, a better job, whatever. But coming from a place of love and acceptance creates a much richer and healthier change than trying to shame yourself into changing. And that isn't sustainable.
Mm-hmm. So the moral is like we're removing shame.
Yes. No more shame.
Yeah.
Take it out.
Always take away the shame.
Take it out.
I dig that. Okay. I mean, what did you remove from yourself as you learned a lot?
That's a great question. I think one of the biggest things, and it's still a work in progress, is like this perfectionist tendency that I have to always get it right, always have it be perfect, always have it look good, right? And then it's like, okay, the more I can embrace what feels messy or like a failure or not enough and make that enough and right for this moment, then the easier it is to kind of let go of that perfectionist tendency.
So we love talking about like alcohol and its effects just because, we have a messy past. We like to talk about it.
We're not shamed by it at this point.
We're not shameful. We'll talk about all of it. But in your opinion, like how do you think that alcohol can play a role in enhancing or inhibiting pleasure? because this is like a big thing right now. Like people do that. They use alcohol to like get in the mood and stuff.
Yeah.
And
like,
it's been throughout like life.
Yeah, little social and intimate settings. So like, what is your opinion on that?
Personally, I think alcohol only inhibits sexual pleasure. There's this idea, right, that it like lowers your inhibition. So you're having like, you know, this amazing sex and it's like drunk sex. And it's like
so sloppy.
It's sloppy, but I mean, alcohol is a depressant in your body. And for women, especially who are already disconnected, already numb in their body, it's like you're not feeling anything.
That's true.
Which is why I think a lot of women, especially, drink to get in the mood. It's actually to numb themselves even more because they're already disconnected, because they maybe don't want to be having sex, but they're trying to override their physical no to be like, well, I should, or, you know, maybe this will bring us closer. We haven't in so long, or I owe them, or whatever it is. Right. So for me, personally, I think that alcohol only inhibits sexual pleasure. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to be sober in order to have sex, or, you know, but I do think to start to notice in yourself, like, okay, so if I have a few glasses of wine and then I have sex with my partner, like, did you enjoy it? If you did, amazing, right? Like, everybody gets to be an individual and see what works for them.
And maybe they have a high tolerance.
Right.
You know? Right. And like maybe 5 glasses is just like, hey, like the music or whatever, you know. Like.
But I think that, you know, especially, again, I work with women, and I think especially for women, there's a tendency to use alcohol to override what's occurring in their body. Right? So they're already feeling numb. So it's just going to kind of help them feel even more numb so that they can do it. Right? And oftentimes it's, again, women who are disconnected, who are shut down, and they've kind of are like, well, I'm not even going to orgasm anyway. So like, let's just do it. You know, let's just get it over with.
Exactly.
So I have like tons of friends.
Even funny,
this isn't one of the questions, but like I have tons of friends.
I love you know, not scripted questions. Those are my favorite.
Right.
Let's go.
You mentioned like if you're not in the mood and stuff, like, and I've talked to other people, like women who are married and stuff, and it's like, I don't know, like you get busy, like maybe you have kids, like you're truly not in the mood. You have no desire. But then like if you push yourself to do it, then you might end up kind of like hating it even more. Yeah. And like resenting your partner. Definitely. Even like what do you do in that situation?
Well, I think, you know, there's a lot of things in that, right? So first of all, I think oftentimes, especially in heterosexual couples, sex is very goal oriented, right? So it's like, I don't want him touching me, right? Because his goal is penetrative sex that I'm not interested in, right? So one thing can be taking the pressure off of that and being, you know, and it has to happen within the couple. Like both people have to be on board, but like, okay, we're just going to have like 10 minutes of making out. No pressure to have sex. Right. Right.
And it's hot.
And then oftentimes when you take the pressure off, especially for women who are already exhausted, stressed out, overloaded, carrying the mental and emotional load for the house, the family. Like when you take the pressure off of, okay, we like penetrative sex is off the table. We're just going to connect. That often gets the woman in the mood, right?
Because I feel like men sometimes don't even need the connection.
Yeah.
They're just going in.
Oftentimes
you know.
they view sex as the connection, and women need the connection for sex.
Good point. Yes.
Well, and I think especially for married couples who are in long-term relationships, and again, because I work with women and primarily heterosexual women, one of the biggest things is also building in moments of connection with your partner throughout the day that are like physical, intentional, and not goal-oriented again. So like a long kiss or a long hug, because women need that like consistent connection.
Yes. Don't just come for me when you want it.
Yes.
Like
And
work your way into it.
Yeah. And then, I mean, there really is the like elephant in the room of women in sexual relationships are carrying the majority of the mental, emotional, and domestic labor.
Oh, like almost always.
Right.
Yeah.
And that carrying all of that is not sexy. Like, you are not finding your partner attractive because you are carrying everything for everybody. So it's also really important in heterosexual relationships, especially long-term ones, whether it be marriage or a partnership or whatever, that there's real open, raw conversations about the mental, emotional, and domestic labor, how it's divided.
Yes.
So that lowers the stress on the woman so she can be more in her body. And so she can feel more alive, right? And then also something as simple as like the 5 minutes a day of self-pleasuring and building up your own reserve internally of that sense of pleasure and connection to yourself.
Yeah, because like, I mean, I have kids. I don't get I could get 5 minutes a day. I could, but like, I wasn't sure what to do with it. If I could get 5 minutes, like maybe I just need to lay in my bed and just like,
take a nap.
Well, yeah, definitely. Yeah. You're like, I just want to sleep.
Take a nap or just like one of those little head scratchers like that feel really good. Like just something like that's pleasurable. That is just such a good point. It's hard to know what to do.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, that's why I do so much of the work that I do.
Yeah.
But I think the important thing is, for me, it's like the intention, right? Because it's so easy for when you have 5 minutes alone to just dissociate on your phone.
Mm-hmm. That's what I do. Yeah,
that's what we all do.
Help. It doesn't help.
That's all. Yeah, we all do, right?
And we blame it on its work.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so tired.
Right.
I feel so shut down.
I know. It's like I can't go to bed. It's
yeah.
Like, what?
And so it does take an amount of intentionality to be like, okay, I'm not going to zone out on my phone for these 5 minutes. I'm going to just breathe deeply and be present in my body, you know?
Yeah, almost like meditation.
Yeah.
Or could you call it that?
You could. I mean, you could. I wouldn't call it meditation. Meditation is something different, but meditation is also an apt thing to do.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't meditate, so I don't even know.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is meditation? Is that when you're just like breathing? Like,
yes,
probably.
You're breathing and you're like calming your mind, you know?
Okay.
I mean,
I guess I've never done that.
I will touch on this. Being sober for over a year and having like now sober sex with like, casual friends with benefits. It was good.
Yeah.
It was really good. And then actually now being in a monogamous relationship with sober sex, I'm like, what the fuck was I doing? It was like every weekend it would be like drunk at the bar or like, stoned. And it's just like, that would get you in the mood, but you would not feel it.
Yeah.
It would be like, it was the act and it was like the man in me that was like, okay, so it's, it's the connection. Here we go. It's the penetrate. But it was never like the feeling like of touching that like, that softness and then exploring.
Yeah. Which is beautiful.
Oh my God, yeah. And I really try to advocate that. Like, if anybody has like ever not experienced sober sex, which sounds crazy, but it is not crazy when you're a 20-year-old or when you're in your 20s.
It's not crazy even people in their 30s, 40s, 50s. Like,
that's true. It's just that's the thing that you get in the mood. I used to think that was it.
Right.
Because I would be on the prowl.
Yeah.
But then I wouldn't feel it because I was, like you said, I was like, oh, I need it, like to just like break that barrier of like I was like insecure to like make a move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you for kind of dissecting that.
My pleasure.
I know. I feel like there's a lot ticking through my like head right now.
Yeah, lay it on me.
It was just like you're teaching us so much, and I'm like, holy
Yes,
cow! Like
you need
I
to
didn't
hire
think of that.
this girl.
Yeah, this is it. This is the real deal.
Thank you. Yeah.
So tell us about your coaching business and how it gets started. I mean, people can look up like, different programs.
Yeah.
Like, is it like more one-on-one? Is it group session? Is it?
It's more group, so I don't work with a lot of one-on-one people or women one-on-one. I do, but at this point, I love running groups. I have an online membership where every month you get like a pleasure practice calendar. Ooh. So I have practices and meditations. So it like makes it easy for you. Yes. And that one definitely leans more spiritual. So it's called the Red Temple, and it's about seeing your pleasure and sensuality and sexuality as sacred, and as like a spiritual practice as a woman. And then I have tons of courses, and it runs the gamut.
Absolutely. Are you all virtual, or do you do in person?
Both. So I would say 95% of what I do is virtual, and then I do run retreats, or that's how I prefer to work with women one-on-one is in person. And so I have like in person, I call them VIP intensives, where it's like this luxurious day of pleasure and embodiment and just kind of like coming back to life. And so I do those all over the world, but again, the main reason why I started my online business back in 2015, 2016, 2017 was I wanted to travel, and I wanted to be able to go wherever I wanted, whenever I wanted. And for me, it's like I believe in this work so deeply.
You could tell.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So why would I limit it to where I live locally? Like I can reach a global audience. Why not? And it's also so important, I think, for women because especially with the shame and the shutdownness in our bodies, a lot of women are living in this like silo of shame. Like they think they're the only one that has the fears or belief or guilt or shame around sex and pleasure. And so having a global community of women where it's like, no, women in Europe and Mexico and Australia and wherever also feel similar things, it normalizes it in a way that I think nothing else does. And it allows you to move through it because you're like, oh, there's nothing actually wrong with me. No. It is culture and society and the conditioning that I was raised on, and I can, transcend it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming like in group things, like out of respect for women, like there would be no men welcome. Like have you worked with men? Or?
I have worked with men, and I have worked with couples. At this point I work exclusively with women, so my retreats and programs aren't open to men for more of a safety reason.
Absolutely.
In the sense that women just feel more safe to share and explore. Yes. And, I think there are so many other incredible coaches out there who work with men or who work with couples or who work with other demographics who, have that lived experience that maybe I don't have. And so it's like, I don't have to be everything for everybody. And I would so much rather refer somebody and be like, that person is exactly who you want than, try and offer something that isn't.
That's your niche. That's your brand. That's who you are. That's what you know. You could tell that like even with couples, I'm sure that can be even like problematic because a woman might not want to say things around her husband or partner.
Yeah. I think
because of the shame.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing with couples therapy, coaching in general is you have to have two very willing participants. It cannot be the woman is willing and dragging the man there, or vice versa, right?
Right.
It cannot be like one person wants to be there and the other person hates the fact that they're there. You're not gonna make any progress.
No.
So I'm ready for you to have an in-person retreat in Pittsburgh. So, like, what is
She's
next
like,
for
what?
you? What is
Pittsburgh?
No, I'm open to it.
You might have to get this all situated.
If you're in Pittsburgh, reach out. I do one-on-one in-persons here in Pittsburgh because I'm here. What's next for me, did you say? Yeah. That's a great question. I think it's just in a lot of ways more of the same, like I've created a lot of things I really love, especially my membership and doing retreats. I have a retreat in southern France in at the end of September.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And so just, more of that.
Absolutely.
Helping more women to feel alive and radiant and magnetic.
That is so
Shoot,
cool.
I have a friend living in France that I haven't seen in 10 years.
Okay. Well, here we go.
I know.
Or you might have to go with her.
Yeah. I know. I want to see my friend. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Do you have, and you don't have to have one, do you have a question for us? No pressure.
I guess my question would be, what do you guys feel like is your biggest barrier to pleasure in your own life?
You go ho.
Oh, you go first.
I said you go ho. I'm like, I'm excited to say you go ahead.
Yeah, no,
woman.
I'll be completely honest. Right now, it's kids. I have 2 kids, and it's it's the last thing on my mind right now. Most of the time, I'm just taking care of the kids and the house, and that's my biggest barrier.
Yeah,
it's pretty simple.
Very understandable.
Yeah.
I think mine is like work. So I get 2 days a week to like spend time with my partner, which is super exciting right now because it's some tantric shit.
Love this.
New relationship.
You know, the honeymoon stage. I mean, I just think it's the honeymoon. And it's like for the first time in like 34 years, I'm like, do I know what I guess I know myself. I know what I want. I know that this is like whatever it may be. I hope it is, fingers crossed.
Yes.
But I think the 2 days a week, it's like, it's not enough. Yeah. But then you're like, well, work is in the way. So that's, because you can't be just like every day. I mean, maybe you could, I guess, if you live together.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be ideal, but I want to know your opinion. Like, when is pleasure like excessive?
I don't think it's ever excessive.
Oh, fuck.
There's no upper limit on pleasure.
Okay,
because we don't want, there's no shame.
Yeah.
There's no shame, so you should live with the one that you're,
Do whatever you want, It's like life is way too short.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But I think the other thing is like, we're all human. We are all going to experience heartbreak, loss, devastation. Like, life is inevitably going to happen to us. And there's a lot of really fucked up shit that happens in life.
Right.
So why not experience as much pleasure as possible? Like, it's inevitable that fucked up shit is going to happen. You know what I mean? It's inevitable that your heart's going to get broken, that you're going to lose somebody that you love, that work's not going to go how you want, that you're going to be struggling in areas of your life. That is inevitable. That's baked into the cake of life. And my perspective is twofold. One, how can you experience as much pleasure as possible? But also, how can you find the pleasure in the fucked up shit?
Right.
Yeah.
How can you, like, in moments of heartbreak and grief and loss or stress, how can you find pleasure? How can you slow down? How can you enjoy the season that you're in, no matter how hard it is? Because it's just a season.
Right. It's not forever.
Yeah.
Grief is not forever.
Right.
Loss is not. I mean, I'm thinking of other things that are fucked up. Maybe this term is not forever. I don't know if we want to go there.
I'm down,
But I do think, Lauren, you are such a magnetic, magical creature. We are so glad that you came on.
Oh my God, it's my
the magnetic
pleasure.
woman. You are magnetic, and you are a beautiful woman inside and out. So I think you really have like enlightened Kelly a lot, being a woman herself.
Yes.
And I've learned a lot.
Good.
I'm so glad. I really do.
I feel like you took a lot away. Come on.
I
hope everybody
does. I did. But I think it is so important to speak about these things with women in those groups.
Yeah.
So I think it's really powerful what you're doing. And I am excited for Kelly to organize a Pittsburgh event with you. I will not be invited. That's okay.
Sorry.
I want to hear about it though.
Yes, we could do like a recap.
Yes. We would love to have you go back on. And just real quick, we had the kin euphoric.
So delicious.
We talked about this because you said with this Kim beaming joy, it's just the flavor just hit your brand. I just love
the can and it tastes delicious. Thank you for watching Mocktails Are Messy. I'm Lauren Joyce, the Magnetic Woman.
Woo! Thank you, Lauren. this is Mocktails or
Messy.
This is Ryan Frankowski and
Kelly Mizgorski.
Thanks for listening. Cheers.
Yay.
Lauren, thank you
Cheers.
for coming in.
Thank you.
You are a natural.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was great.
My pleasure. It was so fun.